The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbb-radio.com.
This is Spotlight in the 716, and today we have Terri Filips Vaughan. Hello.
Hi, thank you
so
for having
happy you were
me.
able to come on.
Yeah, me too.
So tell me what you're working on right now.
Well, right now I am directing and choreographing Into the Woods at O'Connell and Company.
Yes.
And we open tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
And
I'm in it.
You are, of course, in it, and also the assistant director.
Yes, I am.
So.
Yeah, it's been a great process. Everybody in the show is so great, and everybody just puts their best foot forward, and they all give it their all, and it's really, really refreshing to see.
Yeah, the cast is absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I hadn't worked with a lot of the people before, but then there were some very familiar faces, and it's just, they sound great, they're acting strong.
Yeah, and I can attest to that because I'm there too.
Yeah. And the
so-
lights by Jay is
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Jay is a fantastic lighting designer. It's impeccable what he's able to do. So, how did you get your start in theater?
Well, probably like most people, I got my start in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I danced since I was 3. And I sang in chorus in junior high and all of that. And then in high school, I thought, oh, well, I'm just going to go audition for a play. And the first play I was in was 1984, George
Okay.
Orwell. I didn't even start in a musical, which is crazy because, I sang and danced, but decided I'd try for the play.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did the musicals and stuff all through high school, and then continued in college.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a dance major in college, but I also was a theater minor and did a lot of the shows there. And that's also where I got my start choreographing musicals, was in college.
What do you do currently as a profession?
Currently, I am professor and chair of theater and fine arts at Niagara University. I've been there 25 years, so it is home. I
Yes, it
bleed
is.
purple.
Yeah, we all do.
I'm also the resident choreographer there.
Yes.
So
Yes. So, tell me a little bit about some of your favorite shows that you've done. Whether you've been in them, whether you've choreographed them, directed, just a little bit of that.
Oh, there's so many. It's like trying to choose your favorite child. So, my heart is always with Anything Goes for a number of reasons.
Yep.
It's the show I had my lead in as a high school senior. I played Reno, and then I've gotten to do it at Niagara University, and I got to do it as my final show at Sacred Heart,
Which I was in.
which you were in.
In high school.
So, that's always a favorite for me because I'm a tapper.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where my heart is tap. I got to do 42nd Street at the Kodak Center in Rochester, and that was a big, beautiful production. At Niagara, gosh, so many shows. I got to direct and choreograph the Pajama Game there, and that's also a favorite of mine. I tend to like classic
shows.
shows.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think there's something about almost like the big band orchestra style of show that you just hear every single instrument, and it just makes the sound so full.
Yeah.
And then when you add the movement to it, it's just like pure spectacle, but it's based on human movement almost. You know what I mean? And it makes it more realistic in a way. Comparatively to contemporary theater that we see today.
Yeah, and the trend to jukebox musicals is a lot of fun. I mean, I had a great time doing Return to the Forbidden Planet at Niagara in the fall, partially because my husband directed it.
Yeah.
But, for me, give me a golden age musical any day.
Yeah, of course. Speaking of Steve, he is currently directing something at the Jewish Repertory Theater
Yeah.
at the Jewish Community Center, correct?
Yes, they open tonight, the Hat Maker.
Alrighty,
So,
that sounds great. Make sure you go and get your tickets for it.
yeah, they run pretty much the same time that we do, and so many other wonderful shows.
Yes, I swear, every single theater company decides to schedule their shows at the exact same time.
Yep.
So within this weekend alone, we have Into the Woods opening, of course, the show at Jewish Rep. Um, Legally Blonde at 7:10 with Musical Fair, and Sweet Charity at the Kavinoki Theater, which is directed by Robin Lee Horn. And then
Hedwig.
Hedwig and the Angry Inch, also second gen at the Smith, is opening. I think it may have already opened, if I'm not mistaken. If not, it's opening this weekend, I think. I feel like I'm missing one.
I think we are.
There's definitely one. I know Crocodile Fever is opening soon at Irish Classical, and that looks strange, but exciting.
Yeah, very interesting.
It's very interesting. And there's a current NU student working on that show, Hannah LaRue. She's on the wardrobe crew for that.
And I think, isn't Anna Kremholtz in that too?
Yes, an NU alum as well. There's just so much great theater happening. And what I find so interesting too is within the next year alone, I swear there has to be at least over 50 shows happening.
Yeah, people don't realize what a vibrant theater community Buffalo is.
I know, and it's insane. I remember having this conversation with Bobby Cook back in high school of how there's the major cities for theater in the United States, and New York is number one. Then you have Chicago, and then you have, I think he said Georgia.
Atlanta, yeah.
Atlanta.
That would make sense.
And then right behind there is Buffalo, with
Yeah.
the amount of theater that we have. And it's refreshing in a way that it's also so community-based, and that you're able to find different actors in different shows no matter where you go, and you're able to recognize them.
Yeah, it's kind of like a family.
Yeah.
A big extended family.
It's a big extended family, and it's still a very small, tight-knit community, though, and everybody knows everyone, and it's just a great familial atmosphere. And I'm so happy I'm a part of it, and I'm so happy to be a part of it with you. With that being said, talking about Into the Woods, this is you've choreographed before in the Buffalo community, but you haven't directed.
No, this is my
Right.
my professional Buffalo directorial debut.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting for me. And Into the Woods holds a place in my heart. I've done the show a number of times.
How many times, Terry?
This would be number 6.
Which is quite a lot, especially with how long the show is.
Yeah, but every version is different.
Yeah, it has to be.
And I think one of the things that's so special about this show for me is that all the characters are the age they're supposed to be, and the cast is just so talented that it made my job as a director very easy.
Yeah.
You know, we started with talking about character and my vision for the show, and then dove in.
Yeah.
And you guys are just ready for an audience.
I know.
And I think audiences are going to love it. I mean, it's a long show, but it doesn't feel long.
And you know what?
It's such a soap opera. It's
The
little
way that
scenes
the way that
move.
it's made, it's very engaging throughout the entire thing. Because I've seen it live twice now. I saw it once at Shays and then once at the Palace in Lockport years ago, which, interestingly enough, Heather Cassari was in. She was one of the stepsisters, and now she's playing the baker's wife in our show.
Okay.
But I remember just leaning in and watching the entire thing for the entirety of the show, and not realizing that 3 hours had passed by the end of it.
Yeah. Well, and we put in the one optional song for Rapunzel and the Witch, just because we have so much talent.
Absolutely.
And not everybody does that.
Yeah.
But I think it really enhances the relationship between the witch and Rapunzel, that mother-daughter screwed up relationship that they have, that a lot of times people don't do because it does lengthen the show by 2.5 minutes. But it really gives us a chance to delve more into who those people are and what their relationships are.
Yeah, absolutely. And it sets up Rapunzel's part a little bit more, because I think in the original script in its entirety, it's very lenient when it comes to what we know about Rapunzel.
Yeah.
And I think that it at least establishes that her relationship with her mother isn't necessarily the worst at all times. And yes, there's the whole thing about her being stolen and yada yada yada, all that, but it gives her something, and it shows that her relationship with her mother is important to her as well, which I think is important to the story as a whole. And not to mention, Jeton Louis is fabulous.
Yeah.
And she has pipes that would send anyone into a spiral. So, and she's a fantastic performer.
And she's very well matched.
Yes, absolutely, with Mary Jurich as well.
Yes.
Her witch is phenomenal. And from everything that she does, the quirks that she gives her, it's truly something that everybody should see.
Yeah.
So yeah. So with that being said, of how we talked about all the shows that are happening in Buffalo, what are you excited to see within the coming year?
Well, I want to see all the shows that are opening right now. I mean,
That-
we've got
and of
Sweet
course-
Charity and Legally Blonde, which are both fabulous and
Yeah.
feature so many of my alum and are directed by people I, respect.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really excited to see both of those.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Palaces season coming up. That's a lot of great
10
stuff
shows.
there.
10 shows to close out their 100th birthday.
Wow.
Which is insane. And you know what? Every single one of those shows is a hit.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. And excitingly enough, I am a part of some of them. Which
That's
is
awesome.
I will talk about at a later time. But yeah, I'm very excited for it.
No, all the seasons just seem fabulous because they have a nice balance of some of the old classics and some new things, some things where I'm like, I don't know that show. That could be fun.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I always love discovering a new show.
Me too. I'm the same way. For me, the obscure, the better. Like personally, I'm directing 2 shows coming up in the next year. I have talked about the first one before, which is a Lady Gaga infused Macbeth that I'm calling Mother Monsters Macbeth.
I know. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be fun.
It's going to be very, very dance heavy, very, very fun, but still pertaining to the classic text of the Shakespeare. And then, interestingly enough, there is a musical version of Clue, and I am also directing and choreographing that in February, which will be at the NAC in Niagara Falls. And I'm very excited for those 2 shows.
No, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
And it's exciting for me because, you were one of my former students when you were in high school. We got to work together,
Yeah.
and then through college, and to see your success now just brings me great joy.
Yeah, I know.
And
Terri,
great pride.
isn't it so scary that I've known you for just shy of a decade? Just shy of a decade.
Yeah. Well, and it's fun because, for Into the Woods, we've got, Shara,
Oh my God,
who
so
was
many.
one of my students
know.
back like when I started at Niagara. And then we've got more recent alumni like you and Laura.
Yeah.
And so
Nate Miller,
Heather. It's just, spans my 25 years.
I know, it's so cool. You know what I mean? And it just goes to show too that the people that come out of NU that have the theater degree, everybody's the same. Like, we all think the same way, and we all know like the ins and outs of the program so well that we all still talk about it. Like, I was talking in the dressing room yesterday with Shara, and she said something about like, Terry's tap at 9 a.m. And it just goes to show how integral the theater department is to so many people's lives at NU, and how we really just are encapsulated by theater and just like the work in general, and how it stays with you afterwards and it doesn't leave you.
Well, and I mean, I wouldn't have this opportunity if it weren't for Joey Buhecker, who's, the one producing there.
Yeah.
So, and he was a former student. So it's lovely to see, that not only do I get to give to my students, but later in life, they provide opportunities for me too,
I know.
which I appreciate.
Yeah, and it's just such a great thing that within this community we're able to do that. And
Yeah.
I think that a lot of communities outside of Buffalo don't have that ability, and things are just like Buffalo has its quirks sometimes when it comes to Buffalo theater, but I think at the end of the day, it's just everybody helps out each other.
Oh yeah, I
And
agree. I mean, the theaters support each other as far as, letting people borrow costumes or props or things, it's always helping each other and supporting each other by going to see each other's shows.
Exactly.
As opposed to, cutthroat or,
Yeah. and that the world needs less of that. So that's good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the current show that's running at NU.
I know. I
It's
can't wait to see it.
yeah. When are you seeing it?
I'm going to see it Saturday.
Mm-hmm. And what is it?
Company.
Stephen Sondheim.
Yep, we're
Another
in a
long
Sondheim, Sondheim place.
Yep, Sondheim Renaissance.
And it's of course directed by one of my favorite directors, Steve Braddock, who I've worked with on numerous shows. So I know the character development's going to be rich. I know the music with Dr. Bridget Moriarty is going to be phenomenal. You saw it.
Yes,
What did
I did
you
see
think?
it. I saw it on Friday this past week, and I thought it was phenomenal. I thought the set was phenomenal. I thought the actors were phenomenal. And that being a show to be done at college is like hard to wrap your head around, just because the whole premise is that they're supposed to be further along in their lives.
Yep.
But they all do it so well, and they really bring a liveliness to each of the characters.
Well, and Bobby is such a difficult part.
Oh yeah, and Hayden Carr exceeds in every single factor of the role, and he is truly unmatched when it comes to his talents and his capabilities.
I know. I'm so excited to see it because
I know.
everyone I've talked to has only raved about it.
Yeah, and it's great. The set alone is just to be awed. Like,
And that's Primo Thomas, right?
Yes.
Who did the set.
and it's phenomenal. It truly is. And then outside of that, you brought up Pajama Game as well. Pajama Game is also open this weekend and last, of course, at UB. And there's a few people I know in that, Jackatina and Ali Negron, and it's a fantastic show. So also go and grab your tickets for that. See Collegiate Theater. It helps them.
Yeah.
Please.
And both those shows, I think, close this weekend,
They
right?
both close this weekend, yes.
So, yeah, because those are the people you're going to see on the professional stage in a
Yep.
couple of years.
Right after. They don't stop. But thank you so much for being here today. It really means a lot to have you on here.
Well, and this is my first ever podcast, too. So that's very exciting. All these firsts.
Yeah. It's great. Alrighty.
So thank you.
Thank you.